Good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, and it's the 10th of December. So, as many of you know, I work with some little people, and the little people always have some interesting stories to share with me. And the stories are always very consistent, even if it's several weeks apart from a session, they remember things. So, we know that that is the information that they're giving when they can recall like that. So this morning I had the privilege of working with one of my little people who is always a wealth of information. And of course, when you work with little people, you've got to work with attention spans and timelines and what time of the day it is and how their energy is and so on. So this morning, I was able to sit and I noticed that the attention span wasn't consistent with previous sessions. So I thought, all right, well, let's just tune it in a little bit. Maybe it's early in the morning, blah, blah, blah. So as we started to get information, I'm just picking up on some clues. And the clue came, who is this person getting their information from? So I had to stop, drop, sit, connect with our breath, close our eyes, and ask the question, who are you? And they didn't know the name. So then I asked, are you from the divine God source light? No. Okay. So, of course, I'm working with squiggly, wormy child, wanting to and this was a little out of context for this one. So I thought, okay, so I'm keep looking at the clock because I know we got to be in another location afterwards. So I'm thinking, all right, let's get in here. So then I said, do you work with Lucifer? Do you know who Lucifer is? And I got, yeah, kinda. So my answers were very clear. So again, we aligned with our breath and we went through a series of commands. Anything that is not from the light and of the love of the divine God source must leave me now. And so it is. So we went through a couple different series of a couple different things because he wanted to mumble through them and scoot around the chair and avoid saying it. So I had to consistently be on cue here because it was important. This child was not going to get out of my sight without banishing WTH, okay? So we were able to say that and checked in about 5 minutes later. But before that, let me back up for a second. So after we said it, they said, where are we? The response was, he's packing his bags. Okay. Another minute went by. So where are we? He's still packing. And I said, okay. So then we went into a few more declarations and commands. So 5 minutes later, I came back and I said, where are we? It's gone. But then the question came, Miss Sandy, sometimes they go, but they come back 2 weeks later. So, okay, good to know. Didn't tell him good to know, but I'm just saying in my own mind, because you have to be real careful when you're working with children. Real careful, okay? Because there's so much more, all right? And there's a huge safety and trust issue here. So my energy has to be very, very aligned and very neutral. It cannot be like, ooh, I want to extract information, or ooh, that sounds exciting, or oh, I can't have any of that in my energy field. So let me be very clear on that. So we went through some more things to say, and there was some comfortability. And so fast forward about 10 minutes later, I have the opportunity to take the child to drop them. And so in the car, I get the caboose guide is gone. So he's calling this not so light being, so to speak. Being careful of my words, because you should always be careful of your words. You don't want to be dark light, okay? So I said, okay. But sometimes the caboose will come back. And I said, all right. And he said, sometimes I'll say, you must leave, or my gods are going to fight you. I said, okay, how does that feel when you say that? Good. So I said, this is about decisions you have to make, and you have to discern who's coming into your head at any given moment of the day. And even if you think that you recognize it, you need to ask, are you from the God source light for my highest good in the vibration of love? So you have to kind of word things so that they remember that because kids like to be very methodical about certain things, so you can't make the sentence too long. So because he has said to me now in this vehicle going to school, they trick me. They are tricky. I said, yes, they can be very tricky, which is why every time, no matter what you think, you ask. And so this is our lesson that we're learning. And it's what our guide team from the God Source Light want us to be able to do. I have to do that with my guides. I have to do that with other clients. Your mommy, other people have to do this. So it's really important, but nobody can do it for you. So when these things occur during the day, just mentally in your mind, ask. Because he said sometimes they'll like go, I said, okay. And he goes, but then I know they're not. I know they're not. And I send them away. And I said, well, that's your real God source light showing you. And so you take the time mentally in your mind. If you happen to be on the playground or somewhere else, you can yell out into your head, you are not from the light. You must leave now. You are banished from anywhere around me or anyone that I know. And so it is. And so then I started feeling nauseous. And I thought, well, energy's changing, whatever. So as I was headed home, the nausea really increased. And I came in the door and I thought, oh gosh, I was burping and I'm like, okay, energy, it's not unusual. But it came on full force where I had to run to the bathroom. And I'm thinking, WTH, my guides say, you didn't clear. You didn't clear. Yeah, kind of took it on. So I had to immediately call in my guide source team and banish all of that from around me as well. So what's the point of telling all of you all this? Because, oh, that sounds like a cool story, right? Well, it's factual, and it's happening to our children. It's happening to us. And if you're listening to this message, I really want you to tap into your inner God source light and call forth information that can assist you in clearing your own energy, clearing the energies of partnerships and children around you, to ask your guide team to work with all of their guide team. And I strongly and tearfully am asking that you begin to have these conversations with your children, to teach them about their divine source light and the guide teams that have come in to work with them that are from this God source light, and to be able to know the difference between the two. Because, this is so emotional, because these little nasty boogers are attaching, and they're creating havoc, and they're dimming off and cutting off the God source light, so that all these distractions happen during the day until they just lose it. They just can't physically handle the energies. And you wonder why your kids are having all kinds of stuff going on. It's not just from wearing the and being around all the energies. It's also their internal energy. And if we can reach in there and take the responsibility to teach our children that there is more. And if you don't know more, please reach out to me. Please reach out. And I can assist you. I can get you to other people that do what I do, whatever. You must teach your children empowerment. And it starts with you. You have to learn your own inner empowerment so you can empower yourself and others. You teach their children how to tie their shoe, how to flush the toilet, when to put the lid down, and when to put the clothes away, and how to eat their food, and how to do their homework. Well, you better get into the spiritual element of it, because it is critical, and it is critical now. Now. And many of us have come in to learn this or be this, but we're not thinking about the little people and to teach them to reach deep inside themselves and begin to discern and know the difference. My heart is palpitating on that. I'm sure there will be more to come on this subject, but it was quite the experience this morning. These kids are so open that they're vulnerable, and then they're busy doing so many other things, and then trying to be in your good graces, and in school's good graces, and in friends' good graces, etc., that they're forgetting to align so that these little nasty boogers aren't attaching. I'm going to do another video, and it's going to be about how to clear the energies on anything and everything. And I just had this conversation with a group of beautiful, beautiful women last night. The importance of this. And if you go back to any of my other videos, I talk about the importance of your energy, because you don't want to place not so beneficial energy onto anything that someone else is going to pick up. Okay, that is your responsibility to keep this energetic egg in alignment with divine source through the heart portal, and learn to listen to the soul and get out of the squeaky wheel. Now we're grown adults. These little children's have to learn these coping mechanisms and the empowerment. And it is up to you as their mentor and guide who agreed to bring them in or be around them. If you're a teacher, daycare, whatever it is. Yeah, breathe on that. Reach out if you have any questions. But it starts today. It starts today.